Let's talk about the environment. I think it's been said well over and over again that South African companies have been saved by the South African government's infrastructure spending, 787 billion rand over the next few years. Have you seen that being your saving grace, or have you been strong anyway?
Well, we'd like to think that we've had some strength irrespective, but clearly, given government's program that they initiated some 2-3 years ago, it has served the construction industry well. We're a pretty significant infrastructure play company, so you just need to ride around in Gauteng. A little bit of frustration on the freeways, but it keeps it all running. We're happy about that, and clearly we have benefited from it, and hopefully we'll continue to.
It's very frustrating. I can tell you, I used to drive from home to work in about 20 minutes. Now it takes me a full hour to get to work. But the problem is there isn't even any construction on my side of town. But that besides the point. Some of the construction companies that I've seen have been talking about delays in government getting payment from government. Have you experienced such similar problems?
No.
Especially after the elections.
No, clearly there was a slight transition, from the old guard to the new guard.
Right.
But all in all, we haven't seen any problems. There's invariably some academics and admin procedures through a transition like that need to take place. But we're pleased. There's no problems on our front.
So how much more growth is there in the South African road construction environment? I mean, I remember seeing some numbers suggesting that South Africa's got about 16,000 kilometers of paved roads, I think. And so how much more can there be? How much more therefore more business for you guys?
No, we think there's still a couple of good years ahead. We think the next 2-3 years at least remain fairly bullish. There's a lot that needs to be done. One needs to bear in mind that there were many years of neglect in terms of road infrastructure, and the government has addressed that. But Rome wasn't built in a day, and nor is the freeway network going to be repaired in a day. So this will take a bit of time. Invariably it's not an endless road. 2-3 years from now, things will probably slow slightly, and hence Raubex positioning itself quite aggressively in terms of its SADC expansions.
Indeed. Let's talk about that SADC project, because you were telling me earlier on that you're in Namibia, where you have been doing very, very good work indeed, and also getting very good work, as well as in addition to that to Zambia. Yes.
Well, Zambia we've actually been in for some time now, some 4 or 5 years ago. We sort of re-entered Africa. We had pulled out 10 odd years ago. Zambia's proved to be a successful story for us. We've sort of indigenized the business to the local environment. The trick is clearly to replicate that. Namibia was the next target. We were awarded a R1 billion contract approximately 5 months ago. Gave us the footprint to get going. We've consequently expanded off that footprint, albeit on a small scale. And it's exciting. The real task will be to replicate that further over the next 5 years, and that is the management team's goal, and so far so good.
The next natural progression from that, I suppose, will be Zimbabwe. Are you looking at Zimbabwe at all?
Not right now, but clearly that will be on the radar in time. Given that our work is of paramount importance to have a close liaison with government specifically. When the time is right, and when we feel the political environment, etc., is of a stable enough footing, yes, Zimbabwe will be there one day.
Yeah. Construction in Africa, of course, is fraught with many, many risks. And I remember years ago reporting on one of the South African companies that was operating in Angola, and also I think one was talking about Tanzania. And there were huge problems there in getting governments to honor their contracts. How difficult is it?
Look, I mean, Africa is not for sissies. It's trickier than it is down here. But all things given, if one tackles it correctly, it assumes a certain conservatism that you have to approach the country with, etc. It can be done. We've proved that, and we'll continue to prove that.
Record revenues in the year to February. Are we looking at another record in the next 6 months?
Yeah, we certainly hope so. We're under a closed period, but we hope we will continue to exceed expectations.